The window to launch, optimize, and get back to school products ranking is brutally short. Wait too long and your products won't even show up when the buyers rush in. This is your chance to catch the wave. Back to school is more than a $170 billion industry and one of the most predictable retail surges of the year. Parents have to buy, kids want to shop, and sellers who plan ahead clean up. In this video, I'm giving you a smarter way to sell this season, and I'll tell you exactly which products to list in your store if you want to turn traffic into real revenue. I'm even going to show you step by step how I created one of these collections using Canva. First, bundle and cross-sell. You're not just selling a tee, you're selling a moment, a mindset, a lifestyle. Kits equal higher perceived value, better margins, and bigger carts. Second, use urgency. Write copy like only available this school season or personalized just for class of 2026 limited run. Third, control the context. Adjust your descriptions to focus on school essentials and use mockups with classroom scenes, lockers, desks, not just a white background. Fourth, think in collections, not products. Build kits that solve problems or capture feelings. First day jitters, new grade pride, or remote learning stress. Now, let me show you 3 kits you can drop into your store right now. Back to school kit number 1. We can call this one the Confidence Starter Pack. It's all about identity and style. It's a youth tee, hoodie, and snapback. You're not just selling comfort here. You're selling the feeling of walking into school thinking, I look good, I belong here. And the emotional buy? It's not just the kid, it's the parent too. If this helps my kid feel confident, I'm in. And pro tip, add customizable text like name, grade, or year. Personalization drives up price and conversions. Back to school kit number 2. Next up, the things they carry every single day. Let's call this one the daily carry. This kit is a backpack, a tough phone case, and a 20-ounce tumbler. Durable, useful, high visibility. These aren't novelty items, they're part of the daily routine. Pro tip, create multiple design variations. Sporty, artsy, minimal, gamer core. 1 product line, 4 buyer personalities. Back to school kit number 3. With more homework, screen time, and hybrid learning, parents are setting up homework zones to help kids focus. The Creative Desk Drop Kit includes a desk mat and a wall tapestry. Why does it sell? Because it transforms a boring corner into a personalized, motivating space. And one final pro tip, use mockups that show the before and after. Messy desk to aesthetic focus zone. That's what parents are buying into. All right, now that you know exactly which products to sell, let me show you how I designed the cute Gamer Core Daily Carry collection. I have Canva open now, so I'm gonna show you how I created this collection. But I'm first gonna show you how I was inspired for this design. I'm not a gamer, so I needed a little bit more information. What I did, I simply went to Elements here, and I just typed in gamer or gaming. And I usually like to look at the graphics to see kind of what already exists. This gives me an idea of what people are looking for when they go into this niche. Now, the main thing that sticks out to me are kind of these bright neon colors. So I'm kind of going for a girly vibe here, which is why I chose the pinks and purples. And I noticed there were a lot of kind of controller graphics, and there's different button types. So that's why I kind of went for these shapes in my pattern as well. So let's create those shapes first things first. We're gonna scroll down to a new page. And now we're simply going to find the shapes category and add those shapes in one by one. So we have a square, we have a circle, and we have a triangle. And we also have an X. But in the shapes, you see that I don't have an X here. So I actually just used this plus sign and I rotated it. Okay, so now all we have to do is change the colors of these. We'll click on a shape and I'm actually going to make it transparent on the inside, and we're gonna give it a border by clicking this button here. And we can change the thickness of this border with the slider. We'll make it about 11. This looks good. And we can change the color of the border. So let's go with this kind of nice lighter pink here. Now you wanna make sure the border button is selected when you're changing your color. And I can either use the eyedropper tool to get this exact color, or I can just kind of manually find it here in our pinks. So let's play around with it a little bit. Maybe something like this. And we're just going to repeat this process for each shape. Now, one little quick hack, you could actually copy and paste this shape like so, and we can actually just click the Edit Shape button here, and I could choose a circle, and it already adds all the settings. So let's do that for each of these just to speed up this process a little bit. Now my shapes, my phone case design is ready. That was super easy. Let's go ahead and now do the text. So I'm gonna do each of these elements separately so I can kind of mix and match them later, add them to different products if I want. Let's go ahead and do the game over text. I will add a new page. Click the text button, add a text box. Let's make it bigger here. And we have game over. Now we're simply going to change the font. Now for this, there are tons of fonts on Canva. You might have to look around for a little bit. I simply typed in something like Pixel, and it shows a bunch of different options. I personally associate gaming with kind of this pixelated look. So we can test a few just to see how they might look. That one's kind of nice. I kind of like this one, Pixel Lion, okay? And we'll make all of the text like that. Now I'm gonna make it to fill the page, just so it has the best resolution. We can always adjust the size in the product creator later. And I'm going to adjust the spacing here. I think there's too much white here in the middle. So we're gonna fix the line spacing all the way down. You know, and I still personally don't like the way the spacing looks, so I'm simply going to duplicate this text box, and we're gonna have two separate text boxes for each word. Just like that. Okay, now we have two separate text boxes, and now I can kind of place them for the spacing. There we go, this looks a little bit better. We can center this as well. And we are simply going to change the color now. So we have this kind of nice pink and purple, and I'm actually going to use the same pink from our shapes. So I can go into the colors here, and I'll just copy and paste this hex code. We'll change our text color. It's actually saved here, and we do see that it's the same hex code. We can click that, and the game over will make this kind of like a nice, deeper purple color. So it really pops. Okay, so now we have our text. Let's move on to the final design, and we're gonna create a seamless pattern for our backpack. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to take my shapes page, and we can actually just duplicate it like this. And I'm going to create a bunch of copies of each shape and kind of spread them out along this design. Now, we're gonna make them a little bit smaller, so we'll change the size of all of them at once so they do stay the same size as each other. And we just kind of spread them out randomly. So this is a pattern, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm simply going to copy and paste each of the shapes a few times. And again, just spread them out like so. Follow your heart. We'll do the circle next. I'm selecting all of them again, so they're all kind of the same size. Now, If none of your shapes are touching the edge like this or cut off, you will have a seamless pattern, right? Nothing will be cut off, but you might kind of have some weird white spaces. So we're gonna make it a seamless pattern right here in Canva. And how we do that, when you have a shape or any graphic element really, you can take it and bring it to the edge. Now, when you bring it to the edge, you see that this purple solid line pops up. That means that the shape is cut in half perfectly. We're gonna take this shape now, and we're gonna copy and paste it and bring it right to the other side, to the other edge, and do the same thing. Now we see that there's a solid vertical purple line, and then there's horizontal dashed lines. We wanna make sure it's perfectly aligned with that other side, because when those edges then line up in the product creator with our pattern tool, we will have a nice perfect square again. Okay, so we can do that for a few different shapes. We can do that for our triangle here, for example, and it works at the top and bottom as well. Same exact process. We can take our triangle and move it all the way up and see that horizontal solid line pops up. That tells us our triangle is perfectly in half. And we can take this triangle and do the same exact thing. So we want to line it up horizontally, and then we can find the middle of our other triangle. Now sometimes those lines don't want to pop up. If that's the case, you can select both of the shapes like this, right click, and align elements. So here we want to align them in the center just like that, and this box shows us they're perfectly lined up. So I'm just going to repeat this process for a few more shapes. We are done with our pattern. So what we're going to do now, I'm simply going to download each of my designs, and we're gonna download it with a transparent background because I'm gonna change the color of the actual products in Printify. So if we go to Share, Download, now we wanna select that we want a transparent background. Now you do need Canva Premium to use the transparent backgrounds. It's definitely worth it. You get a lot of extra tools with that. So we recommend getting Premium if you can. We don't need that first page, so we're simply going to deselect it and download our 3 designs. We'll click Done and Download. Okay. Now, while I'm here in Canva, I'm gonna simply take the hex code again of this pink. Let's find, or we'll test what a good background might be instead. So click the canvas here, and let's say that I want a lighter pink background to make sure we can see our text. Okay, and now what I'm doing here, I'm just taking this hex code and I'm going to copy it. And now in Printify, let's go ahead and do our phone case first. So first things first, I can change the background color right here. Now you can choose one of our preset colors, or we take that hex code that I just copied and we paste it in right here. Now I can take my designs and simply drag and drop it into the product creator. And here it is. Now we can resize it as we need to by dragging the corners. We can rotate our design, which I will do perfectly vertical like this. And that's all we have for our phone case. Super easy. We'll click preview here. And while these high quality mockups are loading, let's go to the tumbler. So I'm gonna do the same exact thing. I'm gonna take the background color. I'll make it that nice pink color, light pink. And now I'm going to drag in and drop my text design, just like before. And same thing, we can resize it, adjust it as we need to. Okay, and here, now I'm gonna add those shapes again. They're already in my Printify library, so I can simply go to my library. We'll see them here, I can click on them, and now we can adjust it as needed. I'm liking that. Let's go ahead and let those load. And last but not least, we have our backpack. Now this one is a little bit more complex. just because it has, as you can see down here, multiple print areas, which is why we did the seamless pattern. So again, I'll take the background color, we're gonna make it that same pink, and I'm gonna drag and drop in my seamless pattern. Now we can adjust the sizing of it if we'd like, something like this. We can go a little bit smaller, okay? And we're gonna select the Create Pattern button right here, and we have a perfect pattern. Now, we'll see that it's only been applied to that one print area. Let's go ahead and select our design, and if we click Apply to All Areas, it'll get automatically added to all of the print areas. Now, you can adjust the patterns for each print area separately if you need to, but we're gonna go to the top front part now. Whoops, not that one, the front side, here we go. And we're gonna add in our Game Over text. And again, that's already been added in my library, so I can simply go to my library. Now, it looks a little bit busy and crowded with all these extra shapes in the background, so I'm gonna work on this front side a little bit differently. I'm actually going to turn off the pattern for this side, this print area, just like that. Now we'll see the pattern stayed for the other print areas, but here I'm gonna kind of manually do this, okay? So I'm gonna take this one design and I'm simply going to copy and paste it or duplicate it and kind of manually create my pattern, okay? And I'll show you why I'm doing this in a second here. Okay, so I've manually duplicated each of these pattern designs. I'm actually going to go in now and erase the shapes that are right behind my Game Over text, just so it doesn't look quite as crowded. So we'll select the layer that we want to erase in, and we'll use the Remove Background tool here, and we can manually erase each of the shapes that we don't want. Now, I probably would go back and do this again and maybe not erase these top shapes here, but you get the idea, right? We don't want to have too much going on with the text, okay? So we see that all of our areas are filled in. Let's go to Preview. And while this is loading, let's check back in on our phone case. So this is looking really good. You can download these mockups now, bring them into Canva and create that full mockup like I did. Let's check our tumbler, super cute, and our backpack. Now, we have a full collection of 3 products with a slightly different variation, but a super cute design on each. It really is that simple to create a back-to-school collection that kids and parents won't be able to resist. The sellers who crush back to school are the ones who show up early, bundle smart, and speak to the buyer's moment. This isn't theory. This is the season to make it happen. You're already ahead just by planning for back to school. Now take it further. Build a store that sells every month of the year. Watch this next to learn which evergreen niches never stop selling.